the sheer magnitude that is Skyrim, the load times are great on it. I mean, I am, first of all, I'm sincerely impressed they fit all of it on a single Xbox 360 DVD. That doesn't, I still have absolutely no idea how they did that. So anyway, if that takes that into consideration, I think the load times are actually pretty good in the 360. If you guys have anything else about the PS3 kind of not making it there, let me know. But I thought they were pretty good in the PS3.
We have a few questions on the DLC topic.
Okay.
First from Vulcan Assassin.
Yes.
My question.
A brand new contributor to the Weekly Ringer, I might add.
Yes, he's been very active in the chat here, too.
Boom.
We do actually read the chat, even if we ignore you guys.
Yes.
His question is regarding DLC. How do we feel about DLC being included on the disc now, locked until you buy the DLC, which is already on the disc that you purchased? So, like, you have a disc, it has DLC on it, it has content on it that's locked until you buy the code online.
I think that's terrible.
That's pretty crap.
I think it's terrible.
And that might be, I mean, you know what? You could have that. You could have the same code that you have to download, and it might be ready at launch.
Yeah.
But there's something extra sleazy about it already being on the disc. It's like they're not even trying to tell you.
No, I know.
No, we're not screwing you. They're pretty openly and flatly saying, "Yeah, we're screwing you."
Hey, you just bought this game and you can't even use it.
Yeah, that's crap.
Yeah, I think that's terrible. I think that's an example of how DLC is. Well, at that point, it's not DLC.
No, it's really not.
There's nothing downloading about it. It's just there.
It's
already there. It's just unlockables.
Content.
Yeah, exactly. That's horrible. Yeah.
Oh, Demu says asks, speaking of game length, what's your favorite 16 to 64-bit games under 20 hours?
Also a new contributor to the Weekly Ringer.
So technically 16 to 64-bit means basically from 16-bit on, because there are no 128-bit systems.
There are none.
No. There's like 5 128-bit computers in the world. So,
yeah, I created one.
Really?
In my mind.
Whoa.
It's got major encryption.
So any games in there don't count.
Yeah, so that would mean pretty much every game past about 1990. That's a lot of games.
Right. But for the sake of argument, let's
under 20 hours.
Let's think that he/she means games from the 90s. So
okay.
16-bit through the
here we
next
go.
generation.
I meant N64 era.
Right.
Got it. Yes.
That's that's what I figured.
Okay.
So,
right.
So basically any game from the 90s. What's your favorite under 20 hours?
Under 20 hours in the 90s. That's a tough one.
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
Because
back in the 90s, all I did was play games that were way over 20 hours.
And those are the epic ones that really stick with you.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I'm going to go... I don't know if it counts, but whatever. Either Mario Kart 64 or Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, those are kind of cheating, though, because they're kind of popping. I would say GoldenEye.
Was that really less than 20 hours?
I think so.
Play through?
Unless you play on double, even if you play on double O Agent,
it kind of depends on what you count. I'm going to say Smash Brothers or Mario 64.
I think Mario 64 is a good one.
I'm sorry, not Mario 64. Mario Kart 64.
Oh, okay. Mario Kart 64 is a little bit of a...
Mario 64 might be more than 20 hours. I'm not sure.
Cheap out. I think it is.
I'll take the cheap out.
There are a lot of games in that vein. That you could put in for under 20 hours, like a Twisted Metal or something that would actually take you a lot more than 20 hours to get good enough to win it. Mm-hmm. Geez, that is a tough one. I think we've got probably our favorites.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, anything else I could probably think of some games, but they wouldn't be my favorites. So,
Eric,
good question though.
Yeah. Eric the Squirrel, similar-ish question on the topic about short games. What short games do you particularly like? And my mind immediately goes to casual games like that you play on the phone.
Right. I think that's a little bit of a cop out. So let's talk about a game that's. Oh no! Wait. I think he means games that have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
I don't think he means that. If Eric the Squirrel is in the chat, he should. If
Eric the Squirrel is indeed a gentleman,
he's wrong. Maybe Eric the Squirrel is a she.
All right, maybe it's Erica the Squirrel, and she omitted the A.
But it's not. Therefore, Correct. You're wrong.
Well, assumptions.
Portal's a short game.
Portal is a short game. That's my answer. My answer is the original Portal. I haven't played Portal 2. Even though that is sitting absolutely on top of my stack. But Portal, the original Portal, is a short-esque game that is one of my favorites of all time. No question about it.
Yeah, I'll go with Portal just for it really changed the whole industry.
It's just superb.
And it's a nice short. It was like a test bed.
Yeah.
Short games like beat 'em up platformer or Portal, Shrug, anything really.
Shrug.
Beat 'em ups I find kind of boring after a while.
Yeah.
What about Braid? That's not an exceptionally long game, and I really enjoyed it.
It's fair enough.
more-
If
it's
you
a
can pick
puzzle
Mario, you can
platformer.
pick Braid. You can complete Braid even
Braid's
if you don't
also
get
very
all the
good.
puzzle pieces, which takes freaking forever.
That's almost DLC.
So in terms of beat 'em ups under 20 hours, games that are shorter, like is Streets of Rage 2. You can beat Streets of Rage 2 in a matter of about 2 hours, and just a buddy that's particularly good at it. The X-Men and I basically almost beat it at PAX last year before they ripped the cartridge from our
Your
still warm hands.
fingers.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
Namekian?
Namekian.
Sorry.
Jeez.
What do you think of Myst in terms of long or short? It's actually a short game, but not so much the first time you play it.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point, right?
In theory,
So-
you can beat it in 12 minutes?
Oh yeah, it's
You know exactly what to do,
that's right. That's
but
right.
when you have no clue what you're doing, it takes a freaking ever.
But raises a good question, doesn't it? I mean, is the time spent to get that good at a game part of the game time?
I think so, because you can speed run almost any game. I think one of the guys from Team Mountain Gaming holds the world record for Earthbound, I believe, and that was a few hours
That's pretty good.
for an RPG.
That's pretty good.
You can make any game pretty darn short.
Well,
if you know exactly what
there
to
was
do,
that
and that's all you
that whole big article that came out right before Skyrim was launched that one of the developers finished the game in under 11 hours.
Well, of course, yeah, I'm sure by the time that
But
they
it was someone
know
that
exactly
developed
what
the
to
game.
do,
Exactly. It was just
I
I know exactly what levels to reach and what people do.
Your brother was a
Tester
for Gears of
Gears
War.
of War and Gears of War.
And so by the time he actually, I don't know why he bought it when he came out.
Oh, just to have it. He's in the credits for God's
Okay,
sakes.
I don't know why he played it after
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah,
I should
that's
say.
right.
But I mean, how long did it take him to just he probably had like a supernatural sense in headshotting everyone. He could play
Yeah.
through the game blindfolded.
Yep. Yeah. But my point is
So-
that that's a little different. I think the time that it takes to ramp up to get good at a game has to be included in the actual completion of the game.
I think so.
So you get really, really good at something. Even Billy Mitchell, right, talks about really practice makes perfect, right? So the ability to really spend some time and kind of get through a concept. And then once you have things down, you have that kind of built-in reaction to do the right things.
Right.
So that's part of the time I think that completes a game.
Let's do two more questions.
Yep.
This is a pretty interesting one from JSC 315. What do you think of the resurgence of all these fighting games making a comeback, and then 6 to 8 months later it's shelved and a new version for full price is out and the older version is outdated?
Yeah, so this is a good question, and you're probably asking the wrong guys for a couple reasons. One, neither of us play a ton of fighting games.
No. But we're definitely aware of what's going on with this whole thing with games coming out and being discounted fairly quickly after release.
Right.
And then
For all the diehard fans to spend their money.
and then
For the
new
people
one-
that want, like, for example, I am seriously considering buying Mortal Kombat.
Well, you might as well, because how much is it now?
It's got to be pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's probably 20
Probably
bucks
20
on
bucks,
Amazon.
25 bucks.
And
Yeah.
when did it come out? Like,
Right after PAX East last year.
so not even a year. About a year ago.
Yeah.
About a year ago. That's a ridiculously short amount of time for a
It
game
is.
to be discounted, essentially. We're guessing at the $20 price, but we're guessing
who
it's
knows?
essentially being discounted 2/3.
Well, but there's been a lot of DLC and a lot of improvements, and they've ported it to new systems, and there are other iterations. So, it wouldn't surprise me that it's 25 bucks.
But it's not exactly something new, especially when DLC is involved, because for a while you've had Civilization. Civilization comes out,
Yep.
you buy it, and then there's downloadable content that you pay for, or expansions, and then
Yep.
eventually they come out with a Game of the Year edition, or
Yeah.
a Golden edition.
I know.
So it's not just fighting games.
Well, what would you guys rather have? I mean, would you rather have a game
That's in development for like 15 years.
Yeah, like would you have Diablo 1, 2, and 3, which stems the better part of 15 years,
Right.
or would you have
1, then 2.
Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Alpha, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Alpha, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Alpha, Mega Mix,
Right.
Killing Mega Man, Capcom, Turtles in Time.
I almost see, I mean, frankly, with the fighting
Edition.
games, I almost see it
Two.
like Madden. You know, they're games with very incremental changes, but
Yeah.
people will pay for it, so they'll keep doing it.
Yeah, and there are people that love fighting games, and you know,
And there are some hardcore, like professional
Twitch fighting
people.
gamers.
Yeah.
They got to get the arcade controller, you know, like all that kind of stuff. I'm all about that. I just think that for me, I'd rather have the games that take a long time to develop and are really awesome experiences that are very playable for a very long time, even if they're not very long games. And that's, I think, what we're really trying to get to, right? Is games that can be played for a long time,
Right.
even if they're not long games. Diablo is a great example. I could sit down right now and play the original Diablo again and again and again. It is so much fun. Anyway, go ahead. Yep.
I think I said one more
yeah.
question after this. We need to do this and then one more.
This is a good one. Go ahead.
Why is
An anonymous Ustreamer.
this is actually multi-part. Why is Commodore loathe the Japanese? Why is he so lame? And why is he willingly ignorant of Japanese?
Wait, but you
animation?
didn't say that's an IE. IE. Why is he ignorant?
Yeah.
Willingly ignorant.
Why are
of
you
Japanese
willingly ignorant of Japanese animation? As they say, anime.
animation? Who says that? Do you say
The
that?
Japanese.
Okay, Japanese say that. Okay, gotcha. Well, it's very easy.
Yes.
I happen to just be racist.
Well, all right. Easy answer.
All right, good. Next.
All right,
Good.
final question.
Yep.
Well, let's do this again from Erica Squirrel because this is also a good one to end on. For a
Yep.
long game, was there a rather long game that just bothered you throughout? It goes on for so long that you just want it to end. So it's like a game that you kind of enjoy enough to keep playing, but you just wish it would be done already. Kind of like the end of Return of the King, where you just want the movie to end, finally.
Only the extended edition. You know, I think I know, which is funny in itself. You know, here's a general comment.
I see a lot of RPGs, Dragon Quest VII, Final Fantasy 13. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a general comment. If I get through some games that I know I'm close to the end, I've been playing for a while, got some good experience under the old belt, and I just kind of know that maybe the next corner I run around is going to be the last one. Mm-hmm. And then I run around 5 more corners.
So you have that expectation it's going to end.
Yeah, the expectation it's
and then
going to
it
end.
doesn't, you're a little frustrated.
Yeah, and I've done that with several games.
I have too. None of them are especially coming to mind right now.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But you know what first comes and jumps out at me is Xenogears again.
Yeah.
Because it's such a heavy game story-wise and blah, blah, blah. And you keep thinking, this is going to end at some point. Because I just want to stop taxing my brain on this stupid thing. I mean, it's like, it's a good game. It's almost not worth the effort to understand exactly what's going on. And
Right.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, so there's one of those things where you get to the end of the game and say that the dialogue is just killing you and you're ready to just kind of see it end. I mean, I think I've seen that happen before, right?
Right.
Where you just kind of, you get, you know, even in Skyrim now, where I've read like every book there is to read at this point. Mm-hmm. So now every time I pick up a book, I'm just making sure that it like doesn't give me an extra ability, and then I just put it back down. Like if you read it and it gives you an extra ability, it's like yay, and then you put it down because that means it's the first time you've read it. So you know, I don't know. There are plenty of games that you just want to see end, and I think that's less a problem with how long games are, and more an issue of bad game design
And pacing.
and pacing. But pacing is just game design, right? It's just like a director directs a movie, and the movie
Okay.
keeps stretching on.
Gwensta1
Yeah.
really wants us to answer his question, so we'll do it really quick,
Yes.
even though it's a lot of parts. So
Yep.
we'll take on one of
Cool.
it.
Let's do it.
What do you think of DLC that gives you things like new weapons and power-ups?
You mean like horse armor?
Sure. What do you think of that? I'm less excited about that than I am about full side quests.
Well, the horse armor is mimetic, of course. I'm making a joke there because the horse armor was the first DLC for Oblivion.
Horse armor?
Horse armor, as in
Horse armor?
horror.
Sarmor. Okay.
And it came out and you actually dressed your whore with Sarmor.
Uh-huh.
So it was obviously very poorly received.
Right.
Yes. So
Although that wasn't the